guys, my name is Haley, and today I want to talk about the unintentional ingestion of laundry detergent packets in children. This is probably something you've seen on the news, you've probably read some articles on the internet, but this is something that's also very prevalent, but 100% preventable. So I have some packets here that I want to show you guys. You're probably familiar with them, whether you've used them in your home or you've seen them in the store. They are rather small, they're often very colorful, and they are composed of condensed chemicals like surfactants. Surfactants are very toxic to the airway. They can lead to airway obstruction, respiratory distress. They can also send your child into the ICU for weeks to months. Now, if you look down low, you can see that there are warning labels here. Now, this is a keep out of reach of children label, and this is to keep out of your eyes. I don't know if you guys are like me, but oftentimes I'm not very good at reading warning labels on various chemicals or containers. If I'm familiar with the product, I usually just grab it and then I use it. It's very important that you know how to read these labels, and if you don't, you can flip the container to the back. You can see the same labels back here, and you can read why they're harmful. You can also see that it has poison control information, and it also tells you to make sure you go to the emergency room without any hesitation. So, the reason that these are so harmful for children and why it's so common for children to ingest these is because it often depends on the developmental stage of your child. If your child is 1 or 2 years old, they're cruising around, they're learning how to crawl and walk, and they're showing that they're more curious in their environment, it's very common for them to not know what an object is and instantly put it in their mouth. Now, they do this because these objects are very colorful. They look like maybe teething rings that they've used before. They look like toys. They also look like snacks and candy that they've had on the daily. So that's typically why a child will put this in their mouth. The reason it's so harmful is, like I said, because of the surfactants that are in it and the condensed chemicals. Now, if a child bites into this, which is the most common thing that they would do, the chemicals are going to rush straight down their throat, and it can cause some esophagus bleeding and burning, which will lead to swelling. It can lead to airway obstruction, and it's very, very important that you call poison control and you take them to the emergency room without any hesitating. Now, the other thing that children will do is they'll take it and they'll just put the whole thing in their mouth, and they might accidentally swallow it, or they might intentionally swallow it. Now, when they're swallowing this, it will get lodged in their throat. When this gets lodged in their throat, this is going to obstruct their airway again, which is going to interfere with them being able to breathe. Now, this, again, is very, very serious, as breathing is number one priority. You have to have an open airway to be able to breathe. If it's obstructed, your child's not going to be able to breathe. So it's very scary if this happens. You need to make sure that you respond the same way. You're going to get to the emergency room very fast as soon as you can. You're also going to have poison control on the phone as you're going to the ER, and you got to really respond as quickly as you can. Now, talking back to these products, like I said, they're very colorful. That's why children will put them in their mouth. The way you can prevent this from happening is you have a variety of options here, and you need to implement all of them. If you're going to have these in your home and you have a very curious toddler, child, baby, anybody in your house, it's very important that you take these measures to prevent this from happening. What you're going to do is you're first going to buy a container that's like this. You don't want to buy little plastic bag-like containers that they sell where they don't have any form of child-proofing on them, where it's just an open bag. You want to get something that has a locked top, child-proof lock, like this. It's going to tell you on the top that it is Child Guard. It's going to have sides that lock easily, and it's going to be in an enclosed container. You're going to keep this on the top shelf away from your child, and make sure that you never leave them out at all. Again, this is 100% preventable. It is scary, but like I said, make sure that you focus on prevention. You also read the labels, and you will be A-okay.